about the newest version of the Cloud Copier, which is a Telegram native application, so it runs inside of Telegram. On Thursday, I released a video talking about how we had pushed it live and is available for current subscribers. And to celebrate, we are running a sale for the rest of the month until the 28th. So you can get 40% off of a 6-month plan or an annual plan. You can use the code MINIApp40. And we have this nice promo page. You can visit the promo page and read some information about it. So it's just our website /promo. We did send out an email to subscribers. So if you're on our email list, you will be either have gotten the email or you will be getting the email. Some really, really cool stuff, I think. So one of the things that we wanted to do was we wanted to create like this seamless mobile experience for copying, something that was not platform dependent like the desktop copier was. And we wanted to take a look at like what are the key features that, what are the things that we get the most support tickets about? And we'll start crafting some of the feature set around that. So, one of the things, probably the biggest thing, was just the way that order entry is handled. I think a lot of, especially people that do Telegram copy trading, they tend to be newer to trading. They don't understand a lot of the dynamics of how order flow works. And so what we would find was that they just wanted to ram every single order through as a market order, which isn't really possible. And so you will get broker rejections either because there's liquidity issues or the entry price, the order is constructed around an entry price, but the market price is on the wrong side of one of the target prices, or it's too close, or, it's on the wrong side of the stop loss, or it's just too far away. And so the order says, nope, we won't let you, or the broker says, no, we won't let you submit that as a market order. So we said, there's got to be a better way than just this binary option, and we can use artificial intelligence to handle this task of examining the order, looking at the market conditions, and then making the decision on how that order should be entered. What's the best way to make sure that you get, broker acceptance? So we built that out, and it's called dynamic order flow. And the other thing that we've noticed is that we get a lot of users that don't really understand symbol mapping, and they don't understand suffixes or prefixes. And so that, I would say, that is probably our single biggest pain point, or has been over the last several months, where we get people who, the order doesn't go through, it gets stuck in pending, and that's because the system is submitting an order to the broker and the broker is just not even responding. So the system doesn't update the order status, right? And that causes people a lot of frustration. And it causes us a lot of frustration because we get blamed for something that isn't, it's just a simple error. So what we did, one of the cool things about Meta API as a connectivity layer is you can query the broker and ask, what are all of your symbols? Okay, what is your suffix? So we built a system into the Copier that was released this last week that handles that task for you. So you don't have to map, like gold, for example. I think 80% of our signals that we process are gold. And most brokers use XAU USD, which is the format that our Copier puts out. But there are brokers every once in a while that use gold instead of XAU USD. Okay, that's a symbol mismatch. And you have to manually map that in the Copier. But what we found is that people, I don't know, for whatever reason, they just don't seem to understand how mapping works. And they create these bizarre like mishmashes of symbol mapping that are just, they're like, no, what are you doing? That's, so we thought, well, we'll handle that so that we don't have to get any more support tickets about it. So smart symbol matching, we have built that into the Copier. It is available in the mini Copier. So I just figured I would go through and kind of show you, just launch the mini copier and kind of walk through some of the features. So, if you're a subscriber, this is how you launch the browser version of the trading app, right? If you click on this, it will basically push you through to Telegram, and then you get our bot, and you just go ahead and click start, and then from there you can open the mini application, and it will look at your account, verify your subscription, and if you're new, it will walk you through an onboarding stage, 5 stages. Okay, obviously my account's already set up, and so it detects that and it just auto populates. So if you've already got your account set up in the copier, you just log in and it will load all of your settings. So what you're going to do is you're going to walk through this. You're going to pick your signal channels. Okay, in this case I've got 2 selected. You'll choose the ones that you want to follow, and I should just say currently we only pull channels. We don't pull groups, not yet. That is something that is in development. It is on the roadmap, and it will be added at some point in time. But for now, we just handle channels. Okay, so you'll pick your channels, whichever ones you want to follow. Then you're going to save your changes. Okay, and once you save your changes, you can go back, or it'll, if you're walking through the flow, it'll just take you to the next step. You can link your broker account, your Meta API account. When you do this, what it's going to do as you connect your account is it's going to, once the connection is established, it's going to pull that symbol map, and it's going to pull the suffix if you've got a suffix, and it's just going to populate that in your existing symbol mapping, so you don't have to mess with it. So I'm really, really happy about this feature. You have no idea how much challenge it has been, just walking through what to us seems like a simple thing. But so then you're going to go to your risk settings, and I did cover this in the previous video. What you want to do, you can set up global settings, but you want to select your broker, and you can assign settings per channel. Okay, so in this case I've got risk-based, right? You can pick whatever you want. I use 0.5%. Dynamic split, of course, that means however many target prices you get, it will dynamically split this amount across those target prices. So 4 target prices, it would be 25, 25, and 25, and 25%, right? This total has to equal 100. Otherwise, you can't save it. All right. You can do your stop loss management if that's what you want to do, break even trigger or whatever, trailing stop. Prefix and suffix, you can manually set those up if you want. In my case, I don't have either one of those things, so it doesn't show up. And then for NASDAQ, this is what my signal provider uses for NASDAQ trades, and then this is what my broker uses. Okay, so anytime you build a symbol map, let's say that you want to manually build a map, okay, this action happens during order creation. Okay, so you don't have to worry necessarily what's showing up in my signal, because the AI handles all that. The AI deals with all. It will take the trade and it will turn it into an order, and it will automatically create the order format. But let's say that you want to trade crude oil, and the signal that the AI system is putting out for crude oil does not match what your broker has. That's where this comes in. So you basically tell it, hey, your symbol is CL, but actually my broker wants this other symbol, WTI, or whatever the case might be. And then you're going to save your changes. Okay, so it really is as simple as that. As I mentioned in the previous video, we do have trade logging, but over the course of this week, we're going to be adding the user dashboard and the channel leaderboard here. in this section. And then from here, if you really want to, you can open the full application. So that's the walkthrough in a nutshell. Super simple. You can close this if you want after you get it all set up, and relaunch it later on or whatever. It just makes everything so much easier than having to go to a browser window, and then maybe you have weird memory settings on your system, and so the browser, because of your memory settings, you want to run your memory lean, and then your browser will cache things. And so things like sometimes your broker account doesn't show up because your browser is caching old information, right? Even though we tell the browser don't cache it, local settings will override that. That's not going to happen here, okay? So yeah, we think this is a really cool feature. Makes trading a lot more portable, a lot more mobile, and like I said, we're super excited to launch it. And yeah, this week only, you can get 40% off because of this product launch. So anyway, thanks so much for watching,